Hello everyone and welcome. Today we'll be taking a look at a highlight professional match of StarCraft 2. Joining me here, the map is Mothership. The upper left corner shall be a red Terran command center of Clem. And their Protoss opponent here, the blue Nexus, the upper right, shall be Zoun. Yes, TVP or PVT, depending on your chosen preference, of course. Neither of them seem to be up to too much trickery right away. So I will say that we get to have a moment talk about what actually brought me to this match in particular. Of course, Clem versus Zoun, I think, is a fine enough reason, but it was not the reason. No, I want to discuss this lovely map here. I mentioned the map is Mothership. That is not one of our current maps. No, this is one of the ones that was undergoing a bit of review, a bit of analysis in the recent Team Liquid map contest, and I really liked it. That's really all there is to it. I wanted to see the map, got a hold of some pro games, and lo and behold, these two names I actually know and recognize happen to play on it. Guys, check this out. Okay, you've noticed the mini map already, I'm sure, right over there. It's 3-player map. There is a spot down here in the bottom. And if you are a Protoss enjoyer, you might notice the shape of the mini-map is rather specific. Yes, it's a mothership. I think that's so cool. We're playing on a mothership here. The edges with the spinning circles and prisms, there's pylons all over and about. You can even see some of the shield textures going on here. They pulse every so often. Oh, I fell in love with the map. I really liked it, and I wanted to see more of it. And that's what brought me here. I have no idea what happens. This game could end in the next 2 minutes in an utter explosion, fiery ball of destruction. I don't know. I don't care. I'm enjoying the map. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna see these two play. Hopefully some good old-fashioned TVP shenanigans here. Bit of usage of the map. Apparently this is actually passable terrain. It looks like a little energy bridge. The Reaper just went across it. So, hey, get to see some of this. I have no idea if this map is going to wind up in the ladder map pool, but I definitely would vote for it. Reaper enters the base of the Protoss, leaves just about as quickly. Threw 1 grenade, found 0 kills, but did find the sentry and the stalker, so we'll get to see kind of what Clem does with that information. Hallucinated Phoenix finds the Terran base immediately, scouting around. Nothing too really tricky though, nothing really to discover. Find out they're both just kind of doing their thing for now. We see Zoun's tech choice is going to be Blink, apt and fitting, of course, for any Protoss themed map. Part of why I think this is cool, we're going to tangent because nobody's really doing anything right now. Oh, cool, big minerals. Look at that. Minerals. Who doesn't love minerals? So, I was going to say, part of why I think this map is so cool is from a role play type of perspective, because if you're a Protoss player, you look at this, you're like, oh, cool, we're on a mothership. You can pretend like this is a mothership that belongs to my favorite Protoss faction. I'm going to set up some production structures, like what goes in my Protoss army. And you build like 8 robos, okay, and then you can pretend the mothership is going to start like dropping immortals because you built 8 robos. And then vice versa, like Terran or Zerg, you get on this map and you're like, alright, we have found ourselves on board a Protoss mothership. How do we go about destruction? How do we mess this Protoss up? Zerg sets up like a hive infestation. It's like the one of the few good missions from Heart of the Swarm with the queen that I can't remember her name. Neadra. I think it was Neadra. Where she takes over the Protoss ship, and then we didn't hear from her for like 8 years. That one. I think that's pretty good. Okay. Tangent. complete. I will try not to tangent much anymore, and will utterly fail at that. But it might be easier if I start to just kind of follow what they're doing. Banshee speed hyper flight in already done status and stage. Okay, where is the Banshee? I know I saw one. Oh, it's just chilling at home. Just going for the defensive hyper flight rotors, really, Clem? Stalkers at the front. Nobody seems to have noticed them just quite yet, and blink is done, so we could see Zoun try to blink forward, get on top of the bunker, but it's only 4 stalkers. Like, this is not a drastic amount. This isn't even like a blink type of attack. Okay, there's no warp prism, right? No, he's made 3 observers, though, which is an interesting choice, I will say. 3 observers, no prism. Bioforce is starting to head out slightly. Clem looks to want to take the 3rd on location. A bit of a greedy, risky move. But just as the Banshees head into the base might be a decent time. The problem, they don't have Cloak. They have Hyper Flight, which is going to help one of them get away just in time, it would seem. Not actually convinced how well they'd get away even if they had Cloak, thanks to, you know, triple observer, as mentioned. Uncloaked observers now, thanks to the surveillance siege mode changes. Gonna see Storm come up. Good. I like seeing more of this. Storm underwent massive amount of changes with the recent patch, of course, so getting to see it a bit in action, see how it feels, how people are responding to it. It deals a little bit less damage each tick, lasts a bit longer. Really good thing for the Storm, of course, but kind of bad for everybody else involved, especially if you just sit in the Storm for the whole time. Medevacs heading out. Clem ready with the double drop. Upgrades, we've got the triple threat, stim, shields, +1 all completed. Observer did spot the medevacs right as they're heading into the natural. Stalkers refusing to blink just yet. Zoun knows there's a lot of Marines coming out of those medevacs. Set up shop at the battery. Guardian shield really putting in a lot of work. Clem not target firing it down, instead moving the forces at the front. Might be able to get the Archon if the Prism doesn't have a whole lot of words to say about it, saving the Zealots from the Widowmine explosion. A fantastic little micro decision there. Widowmines continue to burrow. The Observer really on it, though, for spotting and observing said burrowed Widowmines. Zoun will hold. It is a defense, rather clean too, workers lost. Not just minimal. Okay, nada. Nothing. Zilch. Bubkiss. 0. However else you want to put it. Okay, absolute disaster, I would say, from Clem's perspective. Not getting a whole lot done. Wow. Even lost one of the medevacs in there. A few Zealots making their way across. Will get to the 3rd base. There is the Banshee. Will start to try to help out. Not going to get a whole lot done, though, very quickly, I will say. Banshee probably not the ideal choice for dealing with those charge lots. 10 SCVs have fallen. Looks like eventually dealt with. Widowmine takes out a Marine as well. Thank you, friendly fire. I'm sure the Marine is not too happy about that, not too keen. Clem takes a little bit of damage. Nowhere near dead, though. Not an issue. How we doing? How's everybody recovering? Ghost done. Ghost Academy completed. And we'll get to see that just really probably to deal with the Templar, deal with the Archons, but of course EMP, by extension, does have some value up against everything for Protoss. Great for shutting down Zealots, too, since Zealots have a lot more shields compared to, things without shields, like Marines and Zerglings. They're counterparts for the basic core unit there. Zealots, rather tanky, rather durable. They serve as that front line, that wall. EMP shuts that down. What's it, like taking a 3rd off? They've got 100 health and 50 shields. So yeah, you just get really a 1/3 of their health off for very little effort, as long as you can land that EMP. Picks off those couple of Zealots. Zoun rotating around. Not a whole lot going on. Ghosts on the way. They're ramping up the Viking production too, and an extra starport. Extra starport on the reactor. This can't be for just extra Vikings, can it? He's going for ship weapons as well. We haven't seen any Colossi yet. No Robo Bay either. My guess, my hunch, Clem is gearing up for Liberators. I think Clem is just kind of readying that, because that is kind of the eventual tech that you wind up going up against a ground toss. Liberators do very well at shutting down a lot of what Protoss has on the ground. Forces out things not on the ground like Tempest. The Banshee, thus far, decorative. 2 kills on it. Didn't really help out a whole lot up against those Zealots either. The EMP goes out blasting down the Warp Prism and any of the Templar down there. I don't think a single storm got off. The Prism needs to stay far away from the Vikings if possible. Zoun on the run. Clem has him up against a bit of ropes here. Gets back to Protoss' side of the map. Clem doesn't appear to want to give too much chase. Perhaps upset about losing some of the medevacs there in the initial engagement, the opener there. I kind of like the Widow Mines here, actually. The Widow Mines, I feel like they're here kind of to serve as an anti-zealot move. The Planetary Fortress helps too. But I do kind of like it, actually. Speaking of anti-zealot move, the Banshee somehow stumbles into doubling its kill count, with thanks to a few stray Zealots. Zoun out in the middle of the map here, which looks to be one of the massive pylon type of crystals that powers the warp network on Ire. So, Mothership's got to have a heck of a power source, I suppose. Not just your average dial-up pylon able to keep that on going. We're gonna cancel? Zoun not quite on it with the attention to cancel out the Nexus. Instead trying to get a bit of damage done on the other side. Does slip a few Zealots right on by. Fusion Core snuck right on by me with Liberator range on the way as expected, I would say. Slightly theorized there. Double Starport Liberator production kicking in. Get the advanced ballistic ship weapons is going to help out tremendously. This is going to force Zoun, I think, to go into a Stargate move, though, which it doesn't seem like Zoun really wants to do. Zoun's adding on a Robo Bay right now, which I'm sure, as you know, the things we make from the Robo Bay, mainly Colossi and Disruptors, neither of which are very good at shooting up, neither of which are very good at dealing with Liberators, so I think this is going to wind up hurting Zoun a fair bit. Has he scouted? Has he seen it? I mean, we got some Zealots into the base. We saw the Fusion Core. Perhaps Zoun thinking maybe the Fusion Core is a little bit of a bluff. Not going for, like he's not going for battle cruisers, right? Maybe that was Zoun's first thought. Dark Shrine coming up behind it. Zealots connect with the Planetary. Widow Mine's not doing nearly as much as I think I had hyped them up to do. A lot of storms on the ramp, inclement weather abound. Clem's forces do not seem to care, just walking right on through. Like, we made Storm deal less damage per tick. It lasts a bit longer now though, so if you want to just run through it really quickly and you'll probably be fine. I don't think that's how lightning storms work, kids, but okay, fine. Liberators stare angrily at the debris as the rest of the forces actually deal with it. Zoun takes a little bit of an opportunity to actually just throw away a few Zealots. Storm versus EMP. I think the Templar ended up losing that engagement. Liberator sets up shop in the Lightning Storm, which, you know what? More power to you, I suppose. Freedom from duty, freedom from life, thanks to Lightning Storm. Not supposed to fly in that either. Speaking of 10, the Liberator count up to 10. That's a lot of indiscriminate freedom. Zoun having a bit of a tough time cracking the door, finding the opening, and I'm not sure Colossi are really gonna help out a whole lot. He's trying to maneuver some of the Zealots around, going for a few run-bys, but thanks to a Planetary Fortress and one defensive Liberator, it's really gonna shut down a lot of the opportunities. Clem doing fantastic, I will say, at keeping all of the advantages in his favor. Making sure the doors are shut and locked, the windows are closed, and Liberators are set up above the roof. Apparently, that's going to work out rather well. Colossi shows up. There's how many Vikings? 3. Oh, well, that's actually not too many Vikings. So the Colossi has a chance to do a bit of damage. And if we get that thermal lance extended eventually, then we'll actually deal with some of those forces rather well. Engagement here in the middle of the map. Liberators panicking to set up. They will eventually get set up, get established, which means the Protoss' ground army is just deleted. There's just no answer to the Liberators. We're still at 10. Stalker count dwindling to 6. A Colossi laser giraffe stumbles into a stray Viking volley there. Oh no. Do we have a nuke? Where's the Ghost Academy? I don't even know where the Ghost Academy is. There we go. Ah, it's on the way. Perfect. Okay. Unfortunately, the Ghost is not going to get that opportunity. He's still gonna... Did he cancel the nuke, or did it complete? No, it completed. Okay, so Clem's gonna just hold on to the nuke. Keep that in the back pocket. Don't accidentally sit down on any type of chair when you have a nuke in your pocket. Words to the wise, but apparently Clem's gonna take the risk. See if that actually comes into play at all. Zoun's been taking a lot of bases in the bottom right. See if Clem manages to split some forces off, or will he just try to delete the army here? The composition just... Yeah. I'm not... Is he going for his target? He's not. Zoun, he's stubborn. He's gonna die on this Zealot Colossus-shaped hill. Okay then. High-sec auto-tracking, building armor on the way. Clem getting those upgrades that Gold League players love to prioritize first. Zoun, similarly, is going for a lot of Zealots up against a bio-freedom composition. Clem's gonna force his way, cut the Protoss' side of the map really in half, has pretty easy access to these outlying bases now. The DT hit squad, here, do they have DT blink? They do. Could Shadow Stride in. The Liberator turret combo, I think, is going to cause a real headache for them. The rest of the ground army finds its way to the top side. No turret at this base. Blinking right on top of the planetary, making use of that recently buffed attack delay. DTs no longer have to wait as long to start attacking after they blink. Get to see that in action too. They're starting to just kind of chew each other's bases apart, which is probably the best thing that could have happened to Zoun. Orbital command gets lifted. The Liberator's the first to fly on home. Can set up to try to deal with the Protoss army. There's not a lot of Stalkers. There's 13. It's going to depend on the angle, I think, the engagement. The rest of Clem's army, so far unfazed, uncaring. Storm will actually help delay that ever so slightly. Zoun could go for a bit of a surround, a bit of a flank here. Ghost goes out. Goes to snipe a Templar instead. Liberators caught out here. Luckily, not enough Stalkers to really keep them pinned. Widow Mites. It's a lot of Zealots, I will say. Clem with the flank from the right. Zealots ready to deal with it. The rest of the Protoss ground army left to deal with the secondary force, which is not, I think, going too well in the Protoss' favor. The splash damage has dwindled. High Templar count down to 1. Colossi about to drop. No, we're fine. Okay. He's beaten. He's injured. Brutal oppression going on against the Colossus, but still alive, still kicking for now, with 9 kills. I just don't see it really happening. The army supply has tilted massively in favor towards Clem. 127, 130, good grief, up against the 74. The lack of splash damage and the lack of anti-air causing some troubles. Medevacs, jeez. The Red Health Medevac not having a fun day. Would not want to be on that air trip. Storm goes out. It was a beautiful connection initially. Zealots decide to try to mess that up, run through it themselves. Liberator Freedom Zone set up shop on top of the Protoss army. We'll get the planetary. We'll try to get out at this point. Or not. Go home. Recall. Something. Get out. The Stalkers try to buy a little time. Might be able to get the Colossus out of there. Clem hot on the chase, though. Massive, good storm there. EMPs go out. more Liberators arriving. The Colossus dealt with via Liberator anti-air attack, which is embarrassing and shameful enough. Zoun says I'm out. That's gonna be it. A actually really nice game. It was better than I was hoping for. I was just happy to see the map, as I mentioned, but that turned into a really nice TVP overall. If you enjoyed, be sure to let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day.